Okay, what is up, everybody? So this is Anime Love, and we have not done a comment read in a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and read your guys' comments because I want you guys to feel involved and engaged because I think this versus experience is very much for all of us. Okay, so this is the comment read for chapter 29, part 2. All right. So let's go down here. All right. So we got 61 comments. We got quite a few to go through. Okay. So let's see if I can do this. So this one is from Al Perenni Lamaz 9303. Al Perenni says, pretty good chapter. Now we have enough for a new volume. I do wonder who is going to be in the cover. Hopefully Yaotsu is going to be in it. I agree. I think that would be an appropriate cover because I feel like Yaotsu and the robots. And I feel like that would be appropriate because I feel like the last one had Genbach and Rennie or something like that from the outlaw world, and it had Jachi and stuff. So it had plenty of people from the parasites and the outlaw world and stuff. But now I think, or no, it didn't have a parasite on it. So now I think a parasite, Yaotsu, and maybe the robot would be a great cover for the next volume. I agree with you. Yeah, hopefully we see the cover really soon because usually the covers have really good art on it too, so that would be cool. Bad news is that the manga is taking a break for November. Next chapter will be in Christmas. Yeah, I remember seeing your comment a couple of days ago, and I was like, fuck, like, what can you do? I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just need a break, and that's fine. I just hope that when we get the chapter in December, I just hope it doesn't necessarily have to be 2 months worth because the artist wouldn't be getting a break at that point, I don't think. But maybe instead of it being 30 pages, maybe it could be like 42 or 43. I think that would be fair, So because typically we've been getting anywhere from like 30, or excuse me, from like 28 to like 33 pages. So if we can get like a 43, maybe a 45 pager, I think that would be cool. I think we'd all be happy with that. So thank you for the information, Al Perenni. Appreciate that, man. It's always good to be informed. And thank you for leaving a comment. And I agree with you. I think that Yaotsu is a must on the next volume cover for sure. All right, so this one is from Darian Donaldson N1X. Darian says Nayudo did try to help her. Roya just told him to stop helping her. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I do remember Roy was like, stop butting in. This is not your battle. All I'm saying, excuse me, even though she said that, if he's really, because I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought Nayudo was going for the survival of the demons, seeing how he's a demon, right? However, after this chapter, it kind of seems like Nayudo is actually going for supremacy. He's actually going for, it looks like he wants to use these other enemies to his advantage, to maybe overthrow his Demon King, which, if this is how powerful all of them are, I don't know how he's, expects to do that if the Great Demon King is even stronger than all of them. But it looks like he doesn't care about specific demons, except he likes Jachi for some reason. But it looks like he's trying to use them to kill other demons. So it kind of makes sense now why he didn't stop the robot from killing her. But I just thought, okay, if you're rooting for the demons, why would you not stop the robot? But it kind of makes sense now that he's trying to use the demons or the robots to his advantage. It looks like you have a reply. The reply is from Victor Dort 2231. He says, for real. Also, Naruto just saw that robot absorb mana. He is not going to start shooting at the robot to find out if there is a limit or not. You're right. I did forget that the robot absorbed his mana. Naruto is truly playing the long game with gather information. He probably going to keep watch of robots to find out other natural disasters' weakness. He might even give robot bits. I'm assuming you meant of information about other natural disasters to speed up the process. Yeah, no, that you got a great point there, Victor. I agree with you. He might help the robots to help himself. Wow. Really good comments, guys. Appreciate you, Darian. All right, so this one is from the Tengola 8329. How you doing, Tengola? I haven't seen you upload any new videos of the chapters themselves. You know, not sure, you know, what you're going through or if you're busy or not, but I thought that your videos were pretty good, man. So, you know, if you get a chance to come back to it, you know, I watch your videos and stuff, but if you're busy, I get that too. So Tengola says robots finally started to get active. They are sending those Neo natural enemy obliteration units to gather more data about other enemies. With all this collected data, who knows how strong Mother will become in the future. I totally agree with you. And I just made another video for the chapter and stuff where I kind of talk about that. You know, because in my reaction, I'm like, man, these demons are making the robots crazy strong by showing them their abilities and their powers. And, you know, between the demons and I'm sure other enemies, you know, the robots are going to just continue to gather so much data, and they send all of this to the artificial intelligence that they refer to as Mother. And yeah, I mean, I was saying in my other video, like, we have some godlike enemies so far. Byaku, the Great Demon King, Yaotsu, Gimbok, and I think there was like one other that was like godlike. And I think eventually the artificial intelligence is either going to build a robot and transfer its consciousness or its, you know, its intelligence into that, or it's just going to make a robot that, you know, does its bidding. But this robot at the very end is going to be, you know, it's going to be so strong, it's going to be godlike, you know, so that's really cool. So I agree with you there, man, for sure. Well, thank you for leaving a comment. All right, so let's go on to the next. This one is from Dane Anderson 2689. Hell yeah, I can't wait to see your opinion of said chapter. The plot gets so much more complex and bumps up the clankers. I appreciate you looking forward to, you know, more of my personal opinion on certain things from the chapter. I tried to put, you know, put that in there every once in a while instead of just reading the chapter verbatim and not really adding too much to it. So I really appreciate that, man, and I'll try to make sure I put a good amount of my opinions on certain things in my review that'll be coming out in a day or two. And yeah, no, I agree with, that's the thing about Versus, and I know we all say this all the time, you know, it's having all these enemies fight each other and, you know, so much going on. It becomes more complex, and like you said, it keeps leveling up the bar. But that's the exciting part about it, right? It's like, damn, well, how is this enemy gonna one up this enemy when they know how to do this, or, you know, and that just makes it exciting. It's like the whole story is one huge cliffhanger from chapter to chapter, you know. So it's really exciting, man. And like I was saying too, you know, you got One Punch Man between the anime, the manga barely getting any love from Yusuke Murata now, and even the webcomic, you know, slowly coming out and stuff like that. It's like, I just feel like Versus is just way better. It seems more well put together. It seems like it's on the right path. It seems like One is focusing more on Versus than One Punch Man nowadays, which I'm fine with, you know, but I don't know, man. We'll see. All right. Appreciate you, Dan Anderson, or Dane. All right, this one is from Victor. Victor was the one who had that great reply above. All right, so Victor Dwart 2231 says robots are going to be hilarious to see them rage baiting the majority natural disasters to have to come out to fight. I agree with you. I really enjoyed that scene where it really tried to manipulate Naruto because it has experience manipulating the humans, and then it has a little bit of experience manipulating the demons. You know, it got Roya Roach to get angry and use up the rest of her power, and it's even been getting Jachi angry, you know, and it got Jachi to show a little bit more of what he's capable of. You know, Jachi made it seem like I'm about to tear this fucking robot a new one. Dude, it's a robot. It doesn't feel pain. Even though you destroyed the entire factory off of slamming it off the ground, like, you're not hurting its feelings. It doesn't experience pain. Like, all you did was just give it more information, you know? So it was really cool. Don't get me wrong. It was really cool that Jachi destroyed that whole factory with that one slam. But, I mean, yeah, that robot gathered all that information and sent it to Mother. So we'll see. I mean, that's the thing, man. The next robot that has all this information, it's going to be so strong, bro. That's crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate your comment there, Victor. All right. This one is from George and Joy. I like that name. So George says, interestingly, Naruto mentioned that demons once had natural enemies many centuries ago. I know, man. Like, we've been getting little hints here and there about how the demons originated, because I could have swore somewhere in the past of this story, someone said that demons originated from humans. And then, like you said, now Naruto said that the demons had natural enemies centuries ago. So there's a lot of mystery behind the demons, you know. However, ever since those foes vanished, their kind has grown increasingly arrogant. This suggests that the demon lords ranked 1 through 20 are, let's say, survivors of those ancient times. That's a good theory. While their younger counterparts, ranked 21 and below, are comparatively inexperienced and immature. This idea is further supported by the childish and overly arrogant attitude that Denganzal and Roach display towards their opponents. Wow, man, that's a really good theory. Very well put together, too. I really appreciate, you know, your wording and stuff like that. That was a really well put together comment and theory there. And yeah, no, I agree with you. And, you know, I have to say this, and I think someone else commented this somewhere down here. You know, so far, we've been shown a total of 4 demon lords, okay? And then we got a little silhouette of the Great Demon King. But out of the 4 demon lords we've been shown, 2 were males and 2 were females. And the 2 males, now granted, they're ranked, like you said, 20 and below. And the females are ranked 21 and above and stuff. So, I mean, obviously that kind of has a little bit to do with their power levels. But even with that being said, I do think it's interesting that both of the female demon lords we've seen are, like you said, very arrogant, very full of themselves, and they've been killed, you know. But yet the male demon lords that we've been shown have been shown to be very wise or powerful, and regardless of their shortcomings, they're still able to defeat their opponents. You know, I'm not gonna lie. If I was a female fan and I was looking at this, I would be like, okay, this feels a little sexist, just a little bit. You know, almost like, you know, the female demon lords can't hang, and it's just like, it'd be cool to get to see a female demon lord that's really, really powerful, that even makes a lot of the male demon lords like, whoa, don't fuck with her. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be nice if we see something like that in the future and stuff. But hey, this is one story. You know, I'm enjoying it for what it is. I'm just saying, you know, it's a little something that I noticed. But yeah, no, that's a great theory. That makes a lot of sense. That would make sense too. Why the Demon Lords 20 or 1 through 20 are a lot more powerful too, because they've spent more time on the Earth. So the longer you're there, the more in your prime you get, and the more wisdom you get. The more battle experience you get. So it would make sense why they're stronger, for sure. All right, that was a great comment, George. Really appreciate that. Oh, it looks like you got a reply. Zen Master 8826 says, I have a different interpretation of that, and it fits with the trope. The demons used to be solitary with some tribes. Same with the humans. Humans probably had kingdoms before. Demons had each other and the humans as enemies, until a great demon lord united the demons to conquer everything. Oh, okay. Humans had to unite to try to stop them as well, but the demons were stronger and slowly ate through the humans. Wow, that's a really good backstory, man. That would be really, really cool. Wow. That's really good. I didn't even think about that. All right. All right, appreciate you, George and Zen Master. Okay, so this one is from XJ7. Nice to see you again, XJ. I'm sorry, dude. I was looking at the name. Good to see you back at it with another versus reaction. Feels like forever. I know, man. These chapters, they come out way too far apart from each other. But yeah, I have to keep it going, man. I mean, it's like I do it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy interacting with you guys and stuff like that. But I also just do it because I like to talk about verses, like sometimes you just got to get it out. You can't, if you just keep your excitement and your ideals bottled up and stuff, you don't feel, I guess you could say, like a release, or, like I like to talk about it. I like to engage with people about it. And it's still just not popular enough yet to where I could walk up to somebody on the street and somehow we get on the topic of verses and then we talk about it. Like, a lot of people still don't really know about this manga. I love how the robots are starting to see that the demons are easy at being provoked. I know, right? Considering how Kiva during chapter 2 was angry at the Navier model going to a full-on burst form, and with Jachi going to a release out of spite because he used Kiva's attack. Yeah, that was really interesting. And again, it makes me wonder, because obviously the other demon executives that Jachi had also died, but he doesn't seem to be as heartbroken over the other ones. So again, it makes me wonder exactly what was Kiva's and Demon Lord Jachi's relationship. Were they father and son? But that raises another great question. Like, if they are, that means that the demons can procreate, and all pretty good, pretty interesting, idea. So yeah, it definitely makes me wonder. And then you say, upon seeing this, robots furthermore used mimicry to provoke Roya and used aggressive speech to provoke a demon. Too bad it was Naruto of all demons. I know. And bro, like, it's like the robot tried the nice one, I'm a friend, I'm not hostile. Hey, we got candy, we got soda, come with us, on some pedophile shit. And, Naruto tried to use the same tactic back. And then the robot said, okay, buddy, shut the fuck up. Come with us. You're coming with us. Oh, it's like he went from a pedophile to a fucking tyrant fucking police officer. Like, I make the fucking rules around here. You're coming with us, buddy. And called him a dumbass and shit like that. It was really, really interesting. I really enjoyed that scene between Naruto and the robot. I really did. This means that the roof of robot adaptation is more diverse, as it is not limited to power and abilities, but also communication, tactics, and skills. I know, and that's what I think it threw me off, because like you said, I was expecting just upgrades in power and weaponry. I wasn't expecting it to also get upgrades in how it talks to people and how it communicates and, you know, manipulates people and stuff like that. So yeah, that was crazy, man. Crazy. All right, great comment, X-Shay. All right. This one is from Kato above Akunu .622. Sorry if I butchered that. And Kato says these robots can't be allowed to wander around freely. They got so much potential they can't wander around freely. That's funny, man. For real. But you're right though. I mean, the more they walk around, the stronger they get, for sure. But I mean, she's got millions of them, you know. That's the thing with those factories and all that stuff. Like, oh man, it's a problem. I'm pleasantly being surprised by how well the robots are being designed and being pushed, for sure. Appreciate your comment, Kato. All right, so this one is from Henry Goldbridge. And he says Mecha Ordnance versus Celestia is going to be interesting because it can lead to the robots eventually incorporating matter and technology into their arsenal. I agree with that. And I was saying in one of those videos that I made that the Matterins and the robots are kind of similar, because I don't think that the Matterins, I don't think that the little bodies that they're in, I don't think that's their real bodies. I think that's a suit that they transfer almost like a life source into, or their consciousness into, and it can transform and stuff like that. But I don't think that's a real body. And if you think about it, the Mecha Ordnance is very similar. She makes a robot and she puts a software program, you know, into the robot that meets her needs and her desires, you know, fulfills her orders and stuff like that. So in a way, she's kind of putting her consciousness into these robots in a way, you know. So they're very similar. Obviously, they're running off of tech. So yeah, they could essentially do it to each other. The robots can get Matterin technology, and the Matterins could get robot technology. So they can both upgrade each other. You know, that's crazy. Matterin tech is very advanced, so it won't be an easy task for the robots. I mean, I agree with you, but shit, from what I've seen, bro, so is the robot technology. That robot technology is next level. I mean, dude, it absorbed magic. You know, that's pretty advanced. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. Also, Sorcerian is going to be a problem. Jachi hasn't even shown burst form yet. He's going to be stupid broken when he goes all up. That's what I'm saying, bro. And again, he's only the 11th Demon Lord. There are 10 other Demon Lords that are even stronger than him. And then the Great Demon King is stronger than all of them. Like, bro, I totally agree with you. He just destroyed an entire factory that probably spanned it at least 3 to 5 miles wide by just slamming a robot into the ground. Oh, bro. Yeah, that's a amazing point, Henry. Amazing point. As for the next chapter, my guess is we will finally get back to Hollow and his group. Let's hope so, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been enjoying a lot of the stuff that we've been getting, but at the same time, it's like, let's get back to the protagonist. Let's get back to the main character here, which I do want to make a separate video because we might have it a little skewed or a little skewered as to who the main character is or who the importance is really behind. I'll make a video about that here very soon. Okay. I would love for the game to finally make an appearance. Agreed, bro. We've literally seen every other enemy except for Extermia, you know, the game world or whatever. So I totally agree with you, but who knows? Maybe the author one is saving Extermia for a certain point because it's gonna be so diabolical, you know, like really like mind-boggling and stuff like that. So maybe that's why we haven't seen it, because it's gonna be one of those worlds where it's like once a person enters it, it's game over. Like who knows? It might even be game over because we saw that eventually Yaozu, the Mad God, is going to go up against Extermia, you know, the game world. And who knows, man? He might get killed. You never know. It's doubtful because he seems to be able to manipulate, you know, matter and stuff like that, and he's a god. But I don't know. You never know. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm very interested to see them as well. But it seems like that will still not happen for a while. Hey, you never know. You never know. P.S. There is no chapter for next month. Gotta wait until December, unfortunately. I know, man. We're all sad, bro. Like, we all gotta wait 2 fucking months. 60 days for a new chapter. God, I really just hope it's at least like 45 pages, bro. I hope it's a fucking banger. Like, for one, we gotta have some action. We gotta have some action. Don't get me wrong, we've been getting some action, but if this gonna be the last one of the year and we gotta wait 2 months for it, there's gotta be at least 10 pages of action in there. At least 10 pages. Yeah, I'd like to see Hollow, and yeah, man, shoot, I don't know. I'm a little nervous because, you know, we've been done dirty by One Punch Man, you know, before. Because I think everybody here is probably a fan of One Punch Man as well. So we're all familiar with the retcons or the redraws and how, or they went on a 2-month hiatus, and then when we got the next chapter, it was weak as fuck. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that with Versus, but you never know. All right, great comments, Henry. I really enjoyed reading your comments. I hope you leave more in the future for sure. All right. This one is from Naruto is Chopped Cheese. That's a great name, man, and I like your thumbnail. Naruto is a really cool character. Like, at first, when I first saw him, I was like, oh, this dude's gonna be a piece of shit. But Naruto is actually very, you know, cunning, you know? This is why Naruto is my GOAT. Hey, I could have figured that from the name and the thumbnail, or the profile picture. This is why Naruto is my GOAT. So glad we finally get to see his power, and man, it did not disappoint. I know, when he transferred his hands out there and did the beam, and I was like, God, this guy is really strong. I think Naruto decided not to help Roya Roach because he was playing smart, not letting the robot collect too much knowledge of his abilities. Damn, that's a good point. That's a good point. One of my favorite parts of this chapter is that Naruto was analyzing the robots as much as the robots were analyzing the demons. I agree. Because it's nice to see that the demons aren't just like muscle meatheads. You know, like, you actually have some that are very intellectual. You know, we saw that Naruto was playing chess. You know, when we first got to see him, you know, he's a thinker. So it's really good to see that there's diversity amongst the demons as well. And it's not all just, I'm the strongest. No, I'm the strongest. So yeah, I agree with you. That's really a really nice diverse thing for the demons. All right. Nice. I appreciate you leaving a comment, Naruto. All right. This one is from King Ragnarok 7302. R.I.P. Bugwife. Dude, I wasn't expecting her to die when Naruto came around. I was like, oh, he's gonna make sure she lives, because, you know, he probably doesn't want the rankings to get low and stuff. But bro, she got fucking vaporized and he just watched it. That's crazy. Yeah. All right. This one is from Cypher P9. So Cypher says Naruto seems like he's interested in taking over the robots and possibly using them to turn against the demons to be the absolute ruler of all the worlds. I totally agree with you. But it's like, that's the thing, man. I haven't even seen the Great Demon King yet. But again, based off of what we've seen Naruto being capable of doing, what Jachi is capable of doing, and there being 10 other demon lords that are even stronger than them, and then the Great Demon King, it's like, is Naruto smart if he thinks that the Great Demon King could be killed by the robots? I mean, the Great Demon King has to be, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I can't even fathom how strong that dude is probably. So that's, I don't know, that's crazy. But I agree with you. I think that's his plan too. I think he's trying to see, do the robots have a limit of how strong they can be manufactured? But it doesn't look like they can, or it doesn't look like there is a limit for them. I mean, dude, it literally came up with a sphere that replicated the robot body. Like, bro, this shit is nuts. Jachi is using his release. Looks like a bad idea after watching the robots use Roya's burst. I know, bro. When I saw that, I'm like, Jachi, like again. He made it seem like I'm about to hurt this robot. I'm about to fuck up, bro. He doesn't feel pain. You're not hurting him. You're just giving them more info. But I get it. He was in his feelings. But yeah, he fucked up. Looks like, damn, bro, looks like you got 4 replies. People liked your comment. This one is from Victor2231. He says, technically they did Roya's burst at same time. It was clearly an inferior copy. It could be robots made and weaker in purpose to get Roach off guard. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it can mimic certain powers, but maybe it can't mimic it authentically. That's a good point. Of course, we don't know if that's true or not, but that's a good point. Cypher replied back to Victor and said, yeah, that was the point. Not to catch them off guard, but to get Roya mad enough to use the last of her energy on a decoy because the robot ended up hiding until the clones were defeated. Roya could only sit and watch as the robot unleashes its final attack. Yeah, that was kind of sad, honestly. Like, could you imagine just being so exhausted you can't even get up and somebody just, I don't know, bro. All right, Victor replied to Cypher and said, yeah, Roya's pride and lack of any tactical intelligence was her downfall. Her whole plan and her army was literally just sit there and wait for Robot to get tired or something and probably win. She sent no scouts or anything to find out where robots might have came from. You're right, dude. You both are making really good points, for sure. And like I said, I think that the author one was really just using Roya Roach as a prop to show how powerful and how great the robots can be, so I think it was on purpose. That's why I think he didn't give her too much to go off of. He just went, let me show you guys how cool the robots are by showing you how they dispose of this 38th demon lord, type deal. Naruto is chopped cheese got into this, and he said, Victor, the demon lords are clearly not used to difficult battles, which is why the robots came out on top against Roya Roach. That's a great point as well. Like Naruto said, they've been so used to being so much stronger than their opponents, they really don't know what it's like to have a challenge. The only one that recently had that was Jachi against Gimbok. Jachi was getting that ass whooped, and he had to release, and I still don't think he would have did any damage. I think Gimbok was about to get in that ass, is what I think. All right. Great comment, Cypher. Great back and forth between you guys. You guys were all keeping it very respectful and just, agreeing to disagree and stuff. Like, I enjoyed your guys' comments. All right. This one is from El Darag. I hope I pronounced that right. The electricity that the robot used was that of the Madeleines. The page is drawn in the same way. Okay, I do remember the Matarins had electrocuted the demon executives, and I was kind of thinking, is that the same thing? But I don't know. It's kind of hard to interpret exactly where certain attacks came from, because it used like 4 different attacks or 5 different attacks. So I don't know. But if it took that from the Matarins, then that means it probably already defeated some Matarins. That's, bro, this is what I'm, bro. This shit is crazy, man. I love this fucking story. Stoked for this. Best way to end the week. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna lie. When somebody got in my comments for a different thing, I think a different video, and they were like, hey, the new chapter's out today, can you review it? I was like, damn, the whole chapter's out on the 24th, because for the past 2 months, the chapter hasn't gotten released until the 25th. So it was a pleasant surprise to get it a day early, but that's because they about to go on this fucking 1 month hiatus or whatever the fuck. So yeah, that's gonna suck. I get sad every time I think about it. All right. Are we almost at the bottom? God damn, we gonna have to take a break after this one. Damn, y'all not playing games, boy. Okay. We haven't seen how Mother looks yet. I hope to see how she looks soon. This manga is getting more and more interesting. Oh yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I would also love to see how Mother looks. But man, this manga has been getting interesting since chapter 1, in my opinion. This manga just does not disappoint. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've gotten a few chapters here and there that are a little lackluster, but even then, there's still like twists and turns and dialogue that really changes things up. So yeah, this whole manga, man, so far is just number 1 in my opinion. All right, appreciate that. Okay, maybe we'll read 1 more. 2 more. We'll read 2 more. No, we'll read 3 more, and then we'll take a break. Okay, so this one is from Darian Donaldson again. He says, Naruto is probably my favorite demon lord after Jachi. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, you know, we've only been shown 4. 2 of the 4 were females that were killed, and they're kind of like not very smart, not very strong, so it's not too much to like there and stuff. But who knows, shit, hopefully we get shown another demon lord sometime soon that's even cooler than those 2. That would be awesome. Appreciate you, Darian. This one is from Bob the Builder. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen you, Bob. Bob the Builder 6521 says hollow appearance in 2026 at this point. Hey, for real, bro. When are we gonna get the protagonist back? Bro, we haven't seen Hollow in a very long time. It's crazy. We've even seen Ario recently, but we haven't seen Hollow. Ario was looking like the Winter Soldier, and, you know, he was laid up, but still, that's crazy. Okay, 1 more and then we'll take a break. You guys won't really notice the break because I'm just going to edit it, but, you know, I'm going to have to take a break after this. This one is from Rex Salent. Oh, I like that name, Rexcellent. 8560. Is that from Invincible? He said, not gonna lie, I think the robots are going to be a very big problem for the other factions. Agreed. Like what we know in natural survival is not the strongest nor the smartest that survives. It's the one who adapts faster. I agree. Now, with that being said, like, okay, take the Titans, for example, right? Let's be honest. The only Titan that we've seen recently that was actually really impressive was Genbok. Every other Titan that we've seen, I mean, Gore was impressive, but he got killed right away from Jachi. You know, they didn't show him fighting any of the other factions or anything like that. So the only successful Titan so far has been Genbok. And that kind of makes it seem like the Titans aren't going to be a problem. Only Genbok is going to be a problem. And I don't like that. I really hope that they show more of his sons some of the stronger ones, some of the more intellectual ones, both intellectual and strong. Because we've seen a strong one, but he was kind of dumb. And then we've seen a smart one. He's smart, but he's not very strong. So it'd be nice if we could see a few of his sons that are both like him, you know. And I feel like that would kind of like add to the Titans a little bit more. Because right now, yeah, it's like the Titans they're there and they're somewhat of a big obstacle, but you know, they're not really doing too much besides Gimbok. All right. And then let's just see some replies here. It depends on if the game is somehow able to defeat robots, though the game is still purely speculation due to the game. Residents oddly disappearing from the manga after the world introductory chapter. What? People are disappearing? I didn't know that. Okay. And then Nayudo Chop Cheese says, my theory is that most of the Extermia residents... Oh, wait, that's because I haven't read the rest of your... Oh, no, we did. My theory is that most of the Extermia residents have returned to the game or are currently trying to. That could explain why we never see residents from there. Oh, okay. So are we worried, like, if the author one is like changing his mind and taking Extermia out of the story? Or, yeah, are we just worried that we haven't seen the Extermia people in a while? Interesting. Okay. Well, we're going to leave it right there for right now. Like I said, you guys aren't going to really notice the break, but I'm going to take a break. I will come back. It looks like the next person we will be reading is Nico P3R4S. We'll start from there and we'll finish it up, okay? But, you know, 60-something comments is a lot to go through, so it's just going to take a little bit of time. But I'll get back to this here in a bit, and you guys just keep watching the video. And we are back for the second part of this comment read. I ended up coming back to it like the following day, so I do apologize for that. And since then, it looks like the order in which some of these comments were placed have been a little changed. So I might skip one or two because it's actually a comment that I've already read. But we actually are going to start off with the bit a la Shirani 4114 because his and Bob the Builder are some comments that were actually put ahead of what I actually have already read. So we'll start off with that. We're still going to get to the Nico one. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. I believe I did not read this one, if I'm not mistaken. So the bit Al Shirani 4114 says the robot was walking in the Gaia volcanoes and seemed to copy Jachi's aura as it walked. Oh, so it's almost like you're suggesting that the behavior of that robot, is kind of mimicking the way Jachi carried himself, which is kind of scary. That's a scary thought. That's possible. We don't know if that's true, but that's definitely a scary thought. And interesting, the volcanoes of Gaia's Wrath. I didn't know that. I mean, it makes sense because Gaia's Wrath is essentially the Earth, you know, and of course volcanoes are a part of the Earth. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have put that together. Appreciate that, Al Shirani. All right, so Bob the Builder says, thanks for uploading in 4K/HD, by the way. Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. Like, you know, I had a really bad camera back in the day. It was supposed to be 1440p, which is like a little bit higher than, you know, like you said, high definition or Blu-ray or whatever. But it was really grainy and it was just a bad camera. And since then I have upgraded to a 4K camera. And since I've done that, I really try to upload my videos in 4K to make them as clear as possible. You know, I wish I could afford Premiere Pro, which is like a editing software that, is supposed to be like one of the best of the best. And, I wish I could provide you guys with even better videos, but I think it's like 20 to 30 bucks a month to have Premiere Pro. And that's just a bill I can't afford right now. But, definitely try to offer you guys the best that I can as far as camera quality goes. And I use DaVinci Resolve currently for video editing because it's free. Not everything in it is free. If I want certain features, I'd have to pay for them, but I just use all the free tools. I'm not too savvy when it comes to the software, but I do what I can. I appreciate that compliment, Bob. All right. So we're going to skip this cipher one because I actually read this one yesterday and the 4 replies. All right. I believe this is one I have not read. I think. Shit, I can't remember. We'll see. This one is from Victor Duort, 2231. I hope I didn't read this one already. Naruto is truly being tactically smart in situation of robots. He's not showing off too much power to give robot barely anything, and he learned their weakness when it comes to just blowing up their factories. I don't think he's going to betray Demon King mainly because he doesn't have absolute control over robots. Most he can do is probably manipulate them to fighting another enemy, like he can communicate with them without getting harmed for now. That's an interesting theory. And that I think that would be smart of Naruto, because I think if Naruto is familiar with the Great Demon King and he understands that he's godly, for him to think, oh, if I have these robots, well then, I don't know. So I think the smart Naruto would say, hey, I don't think anything can beat the Great Demon King, but let me use them to kill other enemies. Yeah, and maybe even eliminate some of his demon competition, though. He may not use the robots against the Great Demon King, but remember, they're all ranked, and they have a hierarchy and class, like apparently money means something to them. So who knows, maybe he'll use the robots to knock off a couple of demons that are in front of him in rankings, so that way he can be ranked higher, as far as power scale goes. So that's a really interesting theory, Victor. All right. This one is from Drone7. Drone7 says, I think we're at a good stop. A break from both robots and especially demons will be needed as we go back to Hollow and the gang. You know what? I kind of feel like I might have read this yesterday. I can't remember. But nonetheless, I'll respond to it. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you completely. I think the cliffhanger that the chapter left off on would be a good point to, like you said, walk away from the demons and the robots, and hell, even the parasites and the outlaws and the other humans, and come back to Hollow, Paka, Bass, and the kid, and them searching for Gigatila, for sure. You know what? Because remember, they showed the robot was about to get into it with the Titans. And remember, they're looking for Gigatila, which I believe is within the Titan world. So we might actually get a little bit of both. We might see the interaction between the Titans and the robots, as well as they might bring Hollow, Paka, Bass, and the kid into the picture because they were going to be in that vicinity. So looking for Gigatila. So hell, maybe even Gigatila might interact with the robots or the Titans. I don't know. So yeah, that's really exciting just to even think about, man. I hope we get to see them soon. But this story is so good. Appreciate your comment, Drone. All right. Both Evil Ma's Roar and King Ma's Roar belong to Kiva. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Evil Ma is that big laser Kiva shoots from his mouth, while Big Ma is the like AoE shouting attack. Okay, got you. Yeah, no, both those attacks are really cool. which he used to deflect Gailu's eye beams. Yeah, I remember that one. That's the one I thought of. I was like, didn't he have King's Roar? How he avoided the eye beams and stuff? But you're right, he did have the mouth blast for sure. All right. Yeah, Kiba was so cool, man. I'm so kind of like sad that he's gone already. I felt like he had more to offer the story. This one is from Diamond Jirachi 6662. The Titans area looks like the area Jachi fought one of Gimbok's sons, also known as the region Hollow and his crew were headed to, so we might see them soon enough. It's kind of crazy that we have seen Jachi fight multiple enemies without ever seeing Hollow in between. Naruto is my favorite demon lord so far, but I like all four we have seen so far. It's a shame we most likely won't see most of the actual demon lords unless Versus is going to last like 100 years. But I do hope we also get to see something from the World Tree, Curse World, and especially the Game World soon enough. Yeah, man, you brought up a lot of good points. Yeah, it's crazy that we've went so long without seeing Hollow. But you know what though? It's one of those things where it's like you have to remember that we get this each chapter once a month. So I guess to us it may seem like forever since Hollow was last in the story, but for people who are coming into it late and they get to see all these chapters at once, and by the time Hollow comes back, they may look at it like, oh, that wasn't too long of a wait. But to us it is. It's because we had to wait a month and another month and another month and another month and so on and so forth. So to us it may seem like a long time, but I don't actually know if someone who comes to the story late will feel that same way. But I agree with you for sure. And yeah, no, I also agree that I would love to see all the Demon Lords too. More so like 25 through number 1. I would love to see every single one of those, you know, because those are going to be more of your stronger demons and stuff like that. But I was thinking that at the beginning of the story, I'm like, 47? Like, are we going to actually be able to see all 47 of them plus the Demon King? You know, so who knows? But yeah, I agree with you. It'd have to be a lot of story to see all of them. But I do hope we also get to see something from the World Tree, Curse World, and especially the games. Yeah, you know, I'm still, other than the World Tree draining the life source from the Earth, which I think that's obviously a huge issue for like Gaia's Wrath. If you think about it, it should be an issue for the parasites. Because if the World Tree is draining the life force of the Earth, what is the parasite gonna, you know, it needs living organism hosts, you know, but if nothing can live because the water's drying up, the food is going out, and, you know, the world is becoming a desert-like planet, you know, there's gonna be no host to, you know, take over. So, I'm really curious too how the World Tree is going to affect the other enemies. And same thing with the Curse World. If you think about it, the Curse World and the World Tree, they kind of both do the same thing, you know, a little bit. But the Curse World, they have, the humans there have technology that's like super advanced, you know. And then, yeah, Extermia, bro, I don't even know what to think about that one. Like, I'm really just waiting to see what that one's all about. Man, great comment, Diamond. All right. This one is from Montre Jr. I can't wait to see Demon Lords 1 through 10. Bro, oh my god. That's gonna be crazy. That is gonna be crazy. Like, they're stronger than Jachi. Jachi just destroyed, and I think I said this in a previous you know, fucking thing. He just destroyed an entire fucking, like a small city that spanned at least probably 3 to 5 miles by slamming a robot into the ground. Bro. I can't wait to see those other Demon Lords too. And I hope they kind of like show that they're stronger than like Jachi and the other Demon Lords. Like they kind of know, like, hey, you know, like they kind of talk to them like they're their superiors. You know, that would be really cool. All right, great comment, Montre. All right, Victor Dwart says it's interesting that only way truly get rid of the robots is get rid of the nearest factory. It's kind of simple matter for powerful beings. Robots truly has no way of regenerating these parts. I really want to see if they recycle their own parts or not after battles. That's an interesting thing. But I mean, you got to think about it too. I would imagine that the artificial intelligence can just have the robots build new factories. I mean, I don't know. You know, but like you said, though, I mean, matter is never destroyed. Matter can only be converted. That's a fact. So, you know, when these other enemies destroy the robots, all they're doing is just destroying the makeup, you know, the manufacturing of those parts. Like you said, if those parts are recycled, they can then be converted back into the robot. So, you know, as far as materials go, that's infinite, you know. Because again, matter cannot be destroyed; it can only be transferred, I think is the term. So, yeah, really great comment, Victor. All right, Victor again. He says at 3057, I think that might be the cursed planet. Oh, the one that Bob the Builder or Al Sharani said was the guy's wrath. Yeah, who knows what it is, bro? Who knows what it is? I was very confused by it too. Honestly, I think it actually makes more sense that it's the curse world. I agree with you. I mean, I guess it could make sense that it's a volcano that's just a part of the earth, and then essentially that's a part of Gaia's wrath. But I don't know. That could be the curse lands too. You might be right. All right. This one is from LeBron NB7781. Says, damn, what a masterpiece. So much going on. Just imagine how strong Byaku is. Bro, I know we all imagine that. We're all like, dude, if this is how strong Jachi is, how strong is that damn Demon King gonna be? That's gonna be crazy, bro. I can't wait to see him. I just want to see what he looks like, bro. That's it. I just want to see what he looks like. Like when they introduced Gimbok, you know, at the end of, I think it was like chapter 19, and you know, we saw Gimbok like all swole and just fucking looking, you know, looking fucking diesel and just cool as hell. I just want to see the Great Demon King in a similar fashion. You ain't got to show me nothing else for a good little minute. You can if you want to, but just let me see him like that. And I'll be happy with that for a couple, I don't know, fucking like 5 chapters. Then eventually I'll be like, all right, let's see what he can do. Great comment, man. JV. Ah, damn, I didn't see that. Okay. This one. There we go. This one is from JVTGR. So maybe like JV Tiger. Robots will definitely combine new concepts, technology, and materials from the Matterins. I agree, for sure. I mean, I think they're going to take stuff from everybody, you know, for sure. Soul-eating curse world tech, mana control from the demons, a new cyborg form which combines organic and inorganic materials, basically like a Terminator that can regenerate and can inject with techno-organic virus. Wow. Damn, that was that's a mouthful, bro, but you might be right. Wow. So like you think they might purposely try to build a robot that can be infected by the parasite because then it can be controlled by Mother. Wow, that's a great theory, bro. Wow. You just kind of blew my mind with that. Wow. Good luck trying to beat this, and even if you do, they will learn and become better. Oh yeah, for sure. He said, bro, this is Terminator up in there. That's crazy, bro. You're right. That would be crazy. Also, we have seen what Curse World Tech can do after absorbing normal souls. What if something really powerful dies like Gimbok, Jachi? Oh, not Jachi, bro. Not the Jachi. Demon King or even Yaotsu. Bro, I don't see the Demon King going down. I really feel like the Demon King is going to be like the It one. I really do. I feel like there's a reason why the demons were introduced at the beginning of the story, why they were the It enemy. I feel like there's a reason for that. I could be wrong, but I feel like Jachi and the Demon King are important to the author, and they're going to be like the last one standing, I think. Or even Yaotsu. I could see Yaotsu going down. I don't know about Gimbok. I don't know about him because, bro, he's like a fucking tank. He's just indestructible. Remember those parasites from Dinganenzal went into his body and they were supposed to start eating away his fucking organs and shit, bro? He sneezed them out. Bro, I'm telling you, man. That's crazy. But yeah, that would be crazy if something really strong died and either the parasite took over it or the curse took over it. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Great comment. This one is from Vindicator Org. Oh, we Vindicators now? Fucking Rick and Morty over here. Vindicators. That's awesome. God, I haven't watched that episode in a minute. He says, unfair how both female... Oh, she. Excuse me. She says, unfair how both female... I think you mean demon lords, but demon kings were eliminated in 2 chapters. I totally agree with you, and I think I might have mentioned this on a different comment. Like, I did notice that we've only been introduced to 4 demons. 2 out of the 4 were females, and they're the weaker demons. You know, they're not as strong. They don't have, you know, as many abilities or powers, and they were killed. You know, they could not handle their opposition, as the 2 male demon lords that we've seen so far are extremely strong. They haven't been killed because they've been able to handle themselves against their opposition. And, you know, like, I mean, look, it's the author one story, you know, it's coming from his vision and stuff, you know, but honestly, I'm sure he's probably going to make one of the, you know, because there's the demon lords 1 through 10, you know, that are supposed to be stronger than Jachi, and I'm pretty sure he'll probably put a female demon lord in there for sure. So yeah, I noticed that too, and I agree with you. You're good. All right, appreciate your comment, and I like your name, by the way. That's really cool, Vindicator. All right, this one is by Duan Juan Delanuche 9721. The combat execs that help Kiva, these are their moves. I believe that's how Jachi recognized them since he's their leader. Also, I've noticed Jachi seems to get these like sharp edges when he is in his release form. Seems dope as fuck. Can't wait to see his burst form. I know, man. In the last, but here's the thing though, we haven't even necessarily seen his release form. We keep seeing it from certain angles that doesn't necessarily really show exactly what he looks like in great detail. So we still technically need to see his release form too, but his burst form is probably gonna be fucking nuts, bro. Oh my god. If he looks that cool as a normal demon, and then he looks that cool in his release form, which we still haven't seen in full yet, I can only imagine what his burst form is going to look like. Oh my god, bro. It's going to look crazy. Crazy. And the last slide where it shows the robots going to other natural enemies' locations, the top one is the parasites, and the second slide underneath, it is after the robot have set that whole place ablaze, since fire is the weakness for parasites. Whoa! Damn! I didn't think about that, bro. That is a great theory. Okay, so we got three of you saying three different things. One of you thinks it's a volcano from Gaia's Wrath. Another one thinks that it's the Cursed Lands. And now you think that it's the same location of the parasites above it, but it was set ablaze and they fucking like killed all those parasites. That's a great theory, man. And I could see it being any of the three. I really could. You guys are having some really good ideas here, man. That's crazy. My dumb ass, I'm just like, I didn't even know what it was, bro. Like I couldn't even come up with a guess. I was just like, I don't know what the fuck that shit fucking looks like. I don't know. I don't know what to think, bro. But you guys have some great ideas on that. That's awesome. Oh, it looks like you got 4 replies. Okay. Whew, y'all got a lot of comments, man. I mean, I love them. I love them, and they're really great. You guys be blowing my mind, but I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes this should be a lot. I'm pretty sure those are different places. The robot in the second slide is walking through a volcanic area of one of Gaia's Wrath biomes, I'm guessing. Okay, so it looks like you guys are talking about that. I was thinking that too, but we have been shown that Gaia's Wrath has a fire biome. Just forest, so that doesn't really make sense. I mean, IMO. What does IMO stand for? I mean, I don't know. I mean, of course, I don't know. Until more chapters reveal more info on Gaia's Wrath. Gaia's Wrath does have volcanic biomes. Even the humans from that world talked about using a volcano to summon other worlds. Besides, we just haven't been introduced to a lot of biomes. I hardly doubt the entire world only consists of just 3 forests and a sea biome. Well, that's a good point. And then Nayudo says, I could be wrong, but I think it's Dakukuzan's back. Hey, you know what? It's funny you say that, dude, because I had thought something similar. When I saw it, I was like, that kind of reminds me of Dakukuzan, which I believe is the name of the kaiju from Disastrous Metropolis. I was like, yeah, it kind of looks like his body a little bit. And I could totally see the robot walking on his body, exploring his body, trying to see what... Bro, you guys are blowing my mind, bro. You guys have some really good fucking ideas. That's crazy. Wow. That's awesome. All right. This one is from Old Man 222. He says, sorry to bring bad news, but they're skipping next month. Yeah, I fucking heard about that. Oh, bro. That sucks. But like I was saying before, I hope that just means that in December, we get like a 45-page chapter. That would be cool. At least 45 pages, man. If it's any less than 45 pages, I'm going to be pretty bummed. But I understand the artist kind of needs a break too. So, you know, I understand him not giving us like a 60 or 70 page chapter, but I would like more than the common 30 that we've been getting. You know, just like another 13 to 15 pages would be nice. So hopefully we get that. Yeah. And hey, I get it, man. Whether it's bad news or good news, you know, you got to share it. So I really appreciate that, Old Man 22. Hey, you changed your photo. I remember your name, dude. Your profile used to be a picture of like a fucking old guy with like a eye thing and stuff. I like that picture better, man. I mean, this one's cool, but I think your other picture was better. All right. James Edwards 9280 says Jachi is a beast. He still has his bursts. Yes. Oh, I didn't even see you had more to your comment here. Yeah, man. I agree with you. You know, like I said, we still haven't even seen all of his release form yet and what he could do in that. So yeah, his burst is crazy. At least we know that the Demon Lord numbers are strength levels because Jachi is world stronger than Royal Roach, and there are 10 more demons stronger than Jachi. Wild. I know, bro. It just like blows your mind. It's just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, he's only number 11. Crazy. Great comment. All right. There we go. All right. This one is from Abdel Majido Zadi 5192. Bro, did they just absorb mana now? Bro, I know. That shit blew my mind, bro. That shit blew my mind. I was like, what? They already know how to fucking absorb mana and redistribute it. That's fucking crazy. Damn, they are evolving to new heights. I didn't expect that, and that's opened a lot of questions. Like, can absorb the world tree, for example? That's a good question. I don't know, though, bro. The world tree might be impenetrable. And I'm certain that they made a plan for Jachi and for Nayudo. He's intelligent, but like any demon, he has an ego of his own, that he thinks that he is smarter and can control them. And also he exposes himself to the enemy and the robots just to take notes of that, which eventually maybe they'll face each other. And I want to see what kind of army he has. Yeah, I agree with you because, I mean, so far, Jachi has had the most impressive, not army, but demon executives. You know, Dinganenzal's demon executives, they looked cool. They looked very aquatic, which, you know, it seems like the author one has like this infatuation with aquatic looking beings, which I have no problem with. They fucking illustrate them amazing. But yeah, Jachi seemed to have the coolest executives so far. So I wonder if Nayudo's gonna have something similar. Yeah, and I agree with you. You know, like, as much as Nayudo wants to give himself credit that, you know, he's composed and he doesn't get into his feelings like the other demons do, I mean, to a certain extent, you do still have an ego. Like, you clearly think that, you know, I mean, look, in order to overcome an obstacle, you have to have a certain level of confidence, right? You have to have confidence in yourself. So I get that. But like you said, is it overconfidence that you're smarter than the artificial intelligence? Because I mean, artificial intelligence, man, they're designed to problem solve, you know, at a way higher rate than organically possible, you know. So, and even though the demons aren't human, they're still organisms. They're still a living being that have limits, you know. And the artificial intelligence, I mean, those things can have no limit. So you got to take that into account. Man, great point, bro. Great point, Zaid. Oh, man. I didn't even think about that, man. Nayudo reminds me of the Terra humans and the Outlaws. They think and build a plan to counter the equal enemies, but the problem is that they hide while other enemies marching and conquer like Nayudo. I mean, you could just kill that robot or take him with teleportation magic and study him instead. He is so fascinating about the idea for a rival enemy, and that's an ego in some sort of way like Jachi. I get that. And you're right. I'm sure he was strong enough to where he didn't have to ask the robot to come to his castle. He probably could have just teleported him the same way he did Gimbok and the other Titans. But who knows though? Because what if the robot would have stole his ability to teleport? God, bro, the fucking robots are a problem. They're a problem. God damn, fuck me. Another thing is that Jachi used his burst form, which is really bad now. Or no, he used his release form, is what you meant. Really bad now because they can now copy burst to, oh, bro, have like an evolution. That would be, I mean, don't they kind of already, weren't they doing that when the artificial intelligence was sending them upgrades? I mean, they were literally getting like, you know, upgraded, modified parts and stuff, you know, as they were fighting. So in a way, isn't that a release or burst form? I don't know. God, that's crazy to think about, bro. You guys are blowing my mind right now. I can only handle so much. And I wonder if they can use a combination of bursts and that form that the Materins use. And also, I don't think they hide their bodies in some sort of suit. I think it's kinda a core or something. Great chapter as usual. This manga is underrated. It's literally the best right now. Bro, you're just speaking facts. You're just fucking speaking facts into the world. This is the best manga, bro. This topples even his bro, I love Mob Psycho 100. I think Mob Psycho 100 was really fucking cool. I really liked One Punch Man before the whole ninja arc. I don't know much about Bug Ego, but bro, this topples even his other shit. And then other mangas, like I'm familiar with a lot of other mangas, bro, and they just not fucking with this one. They just not fucking, bro. Even I like DC and I like Marvel, and I've been purchasing a lot of DC comics, and some of them have some interesting stories, some cool looking characters. But no comic in the world right now is fucking with Versus, bro. Versus is it. That's crazy. Great comments. Oh shit, you got 2 replies? Fuck. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Don't exaggerate. Robots need more data for this to be possible, as I don't think robots are a threat to other demons. See, I think this might be a case of you think that he's overestimating the robots, but he could say that you're underestimating the robots. I mean, I honestly, bro, I wouldn't doubt any of the robots' abilities. I'm more so with Zaid. It wouldn't surprise me if the robots come back with some fucking Jachi like power, bro. It wouldn't surprise me. But you're right, we could be giving them more credit than what they deserve just yet. I don't know, but that's the exciting thing about this story. We just gotta wait and see. And then damn, bro, I can't pronounce that. I'm gonna butcher that. Viet Cong, we'll just say Viet Cong 8530 says it is just matter of time until they are a threat to other demons. I agree for sure. All right, great comment, great replies. All right, this one is from Lazy Mode 21. Lazy Mode 21 says at 5 minutes and 40 seconds, I think those are Matarin attacks. Yeah, it looks like, we keep going back between the demon executives from Jachi, or maybe other demons executives, and the Matarins, for sure. But regardless of who it's coming from, they're mimicking somebody, and they're doing it very well. It just didn't have an effect because it was Jachi, Jachi is that dude. All right. Great comment, Lazy Mode. This one is from Darian Donaldson. He says, I like that you're the only consistent Versus manga YouTuber. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. It's nice to be acknowledged, every here and there, bro. Yeah, man, like, I try to, the way I see it, bro, is regardless of what I got coming out or what I got going on in my life, as long as God allows me to breathe, allows me to get up and, live another day, like, I don't see why I can't take time out of my schedule once a month to just make one video. Of course I want to make more, but at the very least, I'm like, I could just make one video of me reading the chapter, and I also do that because, again, it's like we all kind of need an outlet to talk about Versus, and with no other YouTuber really doing it, like you said, consistently, because you can go to some other people's channels and maybe they talk about this chapter or they talk about that chapter, but they're not doing it consistently for the whole story and for every chapter. And I just feel like this manga deserves it, because like most of us think this is the best one out on the market right now. Why are we not giving it more attention? So, honestly, man, I'm doing it for multiple reasons. I'm doing it for you guys, because I think that, you know, the fan base deserves it. I'm doing it for myself because I enjoy talking about it. Like, this is an outlet for me too. And then I'm also doing it because, you know, I pay attention to what other, what other YouTubers are putting out. And I'm seeing that, you know, they're not putting out every chapter. They're not being consistent. And I'm just like, you know, I feel like a obligation, you know, so, and I'm fine with that, you know, I'm totally cool with it. I've totally embraced the Versus community, and I hope that you guys appreciate me too, and, you know, we're just gonna enjoy this story together, for sure. I really appreciate that compliment, Darian, thank you. All right. This one is from Dark Garu Edit. He says, one storyline absolute peak. It just feels good. Wait, it just feels too good. Damn, dude, the way you said that is like you fucking like busted a nut or something. It just feels good. That's awesome, dude. He really knows that how to make us love this manga more. Bro, I'm telling you. It's like the author one has taken all of his experience, but also all of his failures, and he's corrected them, and he's brought forth the things that he did do well, and he put all of it in this fucking story, bro. And he's like, any fucking villain or character or superhero or power that I've ever thought of, I'm putting it all together in this one story. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like you said, this is just his best work. I started to see Jachi as the main character now more than Hollow. Bro, I'm starting to feel the same way. I'm like, okay, is Hollow really the protagonist, or are we looking at the protagonist when we see Jachi? I don't think Hollow will be the one who will defeat Jachi at this point. The robots might become more dangerous in the future. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily that Hollow had to defeat Jachi, but I guess it's speculated that Hollow is going to become the strongest human, or he's going to save humanity, or I don't know. I don't know exactly how that's all going to unfold, but I was also informed by a fan that Jachi has some significance to the author. So to the author, Jachi is pretty special, and I'll make a separate video where I talk about that, okay? Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with you totally. Great comment. All right, so we're down to our last 5. Thank God. All right. This one is from the Bit Allah Shirani 4114. He says, the robots copied the magic of Zabi and his companions in chapter 2, and also copied the gears of the Sons of Roya. Okay. You know what? I think I read this comment in the last, in the other part, and I think it got mixed in there. But just in case, I'll definitely reply to it. That could be a possibility too, because I do remember Zabi and them using the freeze magic on the robots. So you're right, they could have taken it from them, for sure. I didn't pay too much attention to Roya Roach's children, so I'm not too familiar with the gears. Okay. This comment is from Duong Min Du 9777. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Well, those thunder and ice magic come from Zabi's group, not from Demon Lord, but Jachi probably figure out that they are human magic. That's why he sees it familiar with him. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. I think he's just familiar with the magic in general. I think he was like, is this fucking robot using magic? Like, yeah. But Jachi wasn't phased. Bro, he's so fucking powerful, bro. He's so powerful. Like, he fucking destroyed that whole factory by fucking throwing a temper tantrum to the floor. Like, you know what I mean? Bro. And again, that's just his release form. That's not even his fucking, burst form. Crazy. And who knows? We're all thinking, oh, well, there's the release form and there's the burst form. Shit. For the demon executives who are really strong, who or closer to the Demon King? What if there's a third form? Fucking release, burst, and explode, or fucking, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? Like, that shit would be crazy. So we might be in for more than two different forms from the demon lords, the really strong ones. All right, great comment, by the way. This one is from Brady Live. Brady says, Mother is going to be a robot powered by all the conglomerate of the data picked up from all natural enemies. I agree. I think essentially Mother, or the artificial intelligence that runs these robots, is going to become godlike. Whether it's she's going to build a robot and put herself in that robot and be a godlike robot herself, or she's just going to build a robot, but again, run the robot from the artificial intelligence base. But regardless, I agree with you. It's going to take all this data, build a fucking crazy strong robot, and then it's going to be all she wrote. So instead of just Gimbok, Demon King, fucking Yaotsu, and, a few of the other fucking the kaiju, like those are godlike characters, then we're going to have this fucking godlike robot. So we'll have like 5 or 6 godlike characters, because I think the same thing with the Parasite. I think the Parasite is going to absorb so many powerful beings that eventually it's going to become godlike, yeah, crazy. Great comment, Brady. All right, this one is from Truth4099. He said, where do you read it at? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I didn't get to your question a lot sooner. So El Durag says Kabari. So El Durag is not wrong. Kabari is typically eventually the link that you get when you go to Reddit. So most of the time I get my chapters from Reddit or the Discord for verses. So Reddit or Discord, and they'll post a link usually for Kabari, Manga, which is like the official site where you actually pay and you get early access to the chapter. But ironically, in Discord and on Reddit, they were like, look, we can't actually put out Kabari. We have to only put out Manga. So, the author and the manga itself is actually making money. So I actually just Googled it, and, there's just random sites that come up, and I have a virus security on my computer. So, I could typically safely click on a site and not really have to worry about it destroying my computer. Thank God, cross my fingers. And stuff. So for this chapter, I actually just got it from a random site that I Googled. But yeah, man, usually just go to Reddit, go to Discord, and you could usually start off there. But if those don't work, but for a fact the chapter is out, just go to Google, type in versus manga, what chapter it is, and usually some site will come up that has it available. So, people are always kind of illegally posting, it's illegal, but I mean, it's for the people, bro. Not everybody can pay for it. I mean, I pay for the volumes, like fucking, I got volumes 1 through 4, so I'm giving the author money, and Kiyotaro Azuma. I'm just not paying for it monthly because I got enough fucking bills, bro. I can't afford that. All right, great comment, man. I hope that helped. All right, and this is the last comment. Man, I wasn't sure we was gonna get through them. Fresh as fuck. Nah, fresh A882 Fly 3. It's a mouthful. Where can I read the new chapter? Oh, my bad, bro. So you had the same comment. Yeah. Just check Reddit versus Discord. And again, if you can't find, what you need there, just go to Google, type in versus manga, the chapter, and something will come up. All right. Well, guys, that is it. That is all the comments for chapter 29, part 2. I'm sorry that I haven't been doing these more often. I was busy like working and stuff and doing what I had to do. But now I am at home a little bit more, so hopefully I could do this more often. It kind of just depends on how I feel for the day. Some days I have good days, guys, and some days not so good days. So, it just kind of depends and stuff. But I will definitely try my best to put out more versus content for you guys in these comment reads, because I know it makes you guys feel heard and appreciated. So I don't mind doing it. Well, like always, if you guys like videos like these comment reads, hit like. If you want to have your comment read in a video, man, make sure you're leaving comments when you watch my videos. I'm always, even if I don't put out a comment video where I'm reading them, I always read your guys' comments. So you're being heard for sure. And like always, if you're gonna come back for more versus content, subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, as long as God allows me to wake up every day and do what I love to do, then I'm gonna be here. So you will continue to get versus content from me for sure. All right, well, on that, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.